Okay, and welcome to the video that shows you how to make a postural sway uh, graph. And this will be for the left-right or right-left, I guess, trail to lead foot condition. One of the first things that we'll need to do is take a look at this column. So this is our sequence. It's been covered in the other videos, but in case you're starting here first, our sequence is essentially every measurement event that we come across, which means if our force plates are measuring at 1,000 hertz, which it is, this means that each measurement event occurs at 1/1000th of a second. So that means that's our first reading. This is 1/1000th of a second after. This is 2/1000ths of a second after our initial event, so on and so forth. So one of the things that we'll want to do is our final graph. We want to see our force of one of our feet, either left or right, or trail or lead foot, how that force is applied over time. And so unfortunately right now with sequence, we don't have time. There's an easy fix, especially because we know the measurement frequency. We can take this column, we go insert. So now we have a new column. Sorry, that was a right click and then select time, insert. So right click, insert. Then we get this column here now, and we can say time. And of course that is in seconds. And from there, we make a formula, pretty straightforward. We go equals this cell. So that's this one, B2. We're going to divide that by 1,000. So that means whatever we have over here as far as sequence event, it is 1,000th of a second. So we're going to put that there. And we're going to hit enter. And that is okay that it says 0 because 0 divided by 1,000 is a 0. But when we populate this whole column with that formula, which is really easy, we just wait for that little crosshair to go from white to black and filled in. We are going to double left click, so point a finger, and that will just auto populate that whole column for you. Easy peasy. There we are. So here's our 1,000th of a second, our 2/1000ths of a second, and etc. Okay, all the way down. Great. So we have our time taken care of. Now let's turn to this 2 foot, and again, you're gonna have to determine which is which. Uh, Downward z-axis force. Okay, and again, these are in newtons. And of course, it's not going to read 0 right from the start for our forces because, well, someone's standing on the force plates, right? And we can see that. But how do we see how this changes over time? Well, we go to insert, we travel over here to our awesome graphics section, and we're going to choose our line graph. Right here, we have our 2D line graph, and you simply click that. And there you go. So again, this is our graph showing our trail and lead foot and the shifts between the two. Okay. But before we travel forward from there, there's a couple of things that I'm going to show you that you need to do to bring it in line or more in line with APA formatting. There are still a couple other things that you'll need to troubleshoot. Some of you will probably know how to do this from previous courses, for example, like biomechanics. So lean on your peers that might already know how to do this. Feel free to chat with classmates, etc. Or good old searching the web for it. But the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is we need the right data down here on your x-axis. Because if you notice, we start at 1 and we end up at almost 5,000. Wow, that is not 5,000 seconds, that is 5,000 sequence of events. So in order to change that, we're going to need to right click on that. We are going down here to select data for our horizontal axes, which, as we can come to see, is right here. Horizontal category axis labels. Great. Well, in order to select time, we're going to go here. We're going to see that selected, and we can actually just travel back to the graph, or sorry, our data input. We can select that. We get this fun selection, and I'm going to hit shift. While holding shift, I'm going to hit end and down. And so that goes to the end of the row, doesn't travel any farther. It's already selected. If you're having troubles with that function, you might have to just hold select and go all the way down to the bottom. There's a couple other little ways you can do that, but I've just found holding shift, hitting the end button and down. Again, there's home, and insert, delete, all these kind of functional buttons that you'll have on your keyboard. You want to go end down together while still holding shift, and that should select that all. Awesome. Once you have that, you go to OK. And we see this excellent highlight of purple. That makes us feel warm and fuzzy. We like that. We come on back up here to see the horizontal axis. And yes, 0 seconds to 5 seconds. This sounds more better. Most of your conditions that I took measurements for will be anywhere from 3, occasionally up to 7 seconds. I was trying some things out and making sure that I was getting all the relevant data in there. Yeah, and that's that part there. Okay. Next thing to notice here in the red is what the graph auto-selected potentially as a graph title. So rather than having this, you're going to come over here, just left click and double click, highlight it, and you can say ground reaction force of, let's say, maximum golf swing. Again, sorry group if that was not actually what you did for this condition, but if you did, here you are. That's already done for you. Uh, yeah, and that's again a bit of a start to this graph. There's some more formatting and relabeling of legend and your axes that you need to do. For example, you need to make sure this displays seconds and this displays newtons. Those are kind of little nuanced formatting things that you can find. Okay, this is at least a way to get you started, and if something happened to the graph, you can regenerate it yourselves. Last point before you close this down, just to ensure you have your work saved, you want to go to Save As and ensure that it's an Excel workbook, not a CSV. Again, you do not want to click this, otherwise your wonderful work will disappear on you, as I've come to find. You hit save. For me, I'm going to replace this because we want to keep that graph. And yeah, that is it for the trail foot, lead foot ground reaction force chart.